Terry Malisi, and welcome back to The Gathering. As you can see, I have many teapots here because tonight we're going to have a tea party gathering. Now, a little history about the show. Years ago, Patty, my best friend, and I took our daughters, Chelsea and Bindi, to the Taj in Boston for high tea, and it was wonderful. We got to sample savories and sweets. They started us off with champagne, and of course we got to pick our tea throughout the service. It was just wonderful. And Patty suggested we do it at home, and I said, well, you know what, let's take it one step further and we'll have a tea party show. So here we are at the gathering for the tea party. So in front of me, of course, you know, when I got this in my head that we were going to do this, every time I'd see an interesting teapot, I would pick it up. So let me go through what teapots we have. We have an apple teapot. We have a bird teapot. We have a teapot with a tea party on top of the teapot. We have a very colorful teapot. We have a sunflower teapot. We have a rose teapot. We have another bird teapot. And we have a teapot that actually sits on top of a cup that you can take off and pour. But my favorite teapot is the teapot from my grandmother's very own Fiesta dish collection. And she gave me this collection when I was 17, when I first started becoming interested in cooking. So these are the teapots that we'll be using tonight at the tea party. I'm going to be using my grandmother's, and I'll let the girls choose their own. And what's on the menu tonight? We're having cucumber tea sandwiches, artichoke tea sandwiches, deluxe chicken salad tea sandwiches, goat cheese and watercress tea sandwiches, and caviar and egg salad tea sandwiches. We're also going to have plain scones served with assorted jams and simply strawberries. So I'll meet you back here and we'll start off with the scones. Be right back. So let's make our scones. I have 2 cups of flour, 1/3 cup of white sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 6 tablespoons of chilled cut butter, unsalted. I have a half a cup of half and half. I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and I have 1 large egg beaten. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these ingredients into the mixer, mix it, combine it until it gets coarse. And then what I'll do is I'll add these 3 ingredients, and once that gets into a nice consistency, because we don't want to over process the dough, we'll put it on the counter and knead it and make our scones. So I'm adding my flour and my sugar. And I'm going to begin to mix that. I'm going to add my baking powder and my salt. And then what I'm going to do is add my butter a little bit at a time. I'm flouring my surface, which is my counter. I'm going to take out the dough. I'm going to knead it along. We're going to cut the circle in half, and then we're going to cut those in half. we'll cut these into little triangles. Now, I don't want big scones because, again, this is a tea party. So I'm making them small. So here are my scones. I have a pre-greased cookie sheet. My stove is heating up 400 degrees. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of cream of the half and half and pour that over the top. And then what I'm going to do is place these. And these will go into the oven, 400 degrees, for 18 to 20 minutes. Keep a watch on them. You don't want them to burn. So now it's on to the Deluxe Chicken Salad Tea Sandwiches. Here I have 2 cups of chicken breast, roasted and diced. I have a half a cup of green seedless grapes, chopped. I have a quarter of a cup of dried cranberries, and I have 2/3 cup of mayonnaise. Now what I have here, main ingredients for a tea party, tea sandwiches, bread. And the first bread I'm going to be working with is Pepperidge Farm. It's a thin sliced, it's beautiful for these types of sandwiches. And here's a little trick. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put these in the freezer while I'm preparing my salad so that when I put them together, it'll be easier to cut the crusts off once I make the sandwiches. So in the freezer they go, just like this. And they'll stay in there maybe 10 minutes. Okay, and this might not even take 10 minutes to do, but I know my scones will be ready in 2 minutes. So I am going to start mixing this salad. The grapes are beautiful. This combination is just going to be so refreshing and I think unusual for chicken salad. So I'm going to put the mayonnaise in here. I don't know if you can see that. It's very colorful. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, these are beautiful. As you know, I don't bake, but I have to say, these are beautiful. Look at these. They are just beautiful. Oh my goodness, the bottoms are browned perfectly. These are really going to be a nice addition to the tea party. Along with these, I have apricot jam, blackberry jam, and strawberry jam. So, there you have it. Okay, I'll let these cool off for a bit, and I will go and get the bread out of the freezer, and we'll start making our Deluxe Chicken Salad Tea Sandwiches. Okay, so I am going to spread these out. I'm going to take my chicken salad and spread it on the bread. And remember, you don't have to get right to the edges because we're cutting the edges off. Each sandwich will yield 2 tea sandwiches. I want to firmly press my top. And again, Pepperidge Farm. It's perfect bread for these tea sandwiches. However, I have another little trick up my sleeve about bread for tea sandwiches, which I'll share in a minute. So I'm going to cut off the edges. Oh, that's beautiful. This knife works fine. Now what you want to do is cut this in half. Oh my goodness, look at this. So here you have it, deluxe chicken salad tea sandwiches. And now it's on to our next tea sandwich. And now it's on to the artichoke tea sandwiches. I have here 1 can of artichoke bottoms, chopped and topped with 1 teaspoon of onion powder. And why I chose the artichoke bottoms is because the hearts tend to be leafy, and I wanted this to have a nice kind of solid consistency, so I chose the artichoke bottoms. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. I have 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, a pinch of pepper, and a pinch of parsley. Now, here's the trick I was talking about. Look at these. These are cocktail breads. Now, how cute are these, number 1? And number 2, they're small enough to be perfect size for a tea party. So I'm going to give these a go. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the rye bread or the pumpernickel. Maybe the pumpernickel with the artichoke. But let's get this spread going. So I'm going to put my mayonnaise in. I'm going to just put in all the ingredients, the garlic powder, the pinch of pepper, and the pinch of parsley. And then I'm just going to mix this all up. This looks wonderful. You can see that. All nicely blended. And you can see what I mean about the artichoke bottoms. It's just a nice compact salad. So I'm going to open this. And because they're the perfect size, I won't have to be cutting the crusts. So let's see how these go. Won't use the end. 1, 2. Hopefully I'll get 8. Let's see how we do. How convenient is this? Tiny bites. No cutting of the bread. And here you have it, artichoke tea sandwiches. We'll be on to the next tea sandwich in a bit. And now it's on to the classic cucumber tea sandwiches. Now, because it's classic and English, I am going to definitely use the white bread. And basically, all it is slicing a seedless cucumber, buttering each side of the inside of the sandwiches with the butter, and topping it off with alfalfa sprouts. Okay, so we're gonna butter these, and you want to make sure you use unsalted butter for your tea sandwiches, because it just gives it that touch of sweetness. So then we're going to take our cucumbers and place them 4 on each slice. If the cucumber, if they feel wet, too wet, pat them dry. Now that we have the cucumbers, we're going to take our alfalfa sprouts and spread them on the sandwich. And then I have my top layer buttered side on the inside of the sandwich. But this is the quintessential tea sandwich. And here we are on the last cucumber tea sandwich. Aren't they beautiful? Cucumber tea sandwiches. And now it's on to our next tea sandwich. I wonder what it'll be. And now it's on to our caviar egg tea sandwiches. Here I have 6 hard-boiled eggs chopped. I have 2 ounces of black lumpfish caviar. I talked a little bit about caviar and used a milder caviar Tobiko in the impromptu gathering a few shows back. But this is the kind that I really like. Black, briny, strong flavor. It's really going to give it an interesting flavor, I think. And here's a cup of mayonnaise. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the caviar. Save a little for me. And then add the mayonnaise. And then I'm going to mix this all up. And the caviar is really going to give it a very briny, salty flavor. I don't know if you can get a good look at this, but you can see the black caviar kind of giving it a polka dot look to it. And actually what I'd like to do is take the spoon that I put that in and just give it a quick taste. Wow. That is really different. And surprisingly, the caviar is not overpowering. It's really delicious. I think my guests are going to like it. And there you have it. Caviar egg tea sandwiches. Now it's on to our very last sandwich. Goat cheese and watercress tea sandwiches. Be right back with those ingredients. And aren't these beautiful? My daughter just brought them home for the table for tonight's tea party. They smell wonderful. Well, it's on to our goat cheese and watercress tea sandwiches. Be right back. So here we are with the last tea sandwich. Goat cheese and watercress tea sandwiches. So what I have here is 1 log of goat cheese and 1 small bunch of watercress chopped finely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this up. And this has been sitting at room temperature for a little bit. Most definitely to soften it up. And if you like goat cheese, you'll be a big fan of this recipe. So simple, yet delicious. Now again, we're going to butter both sides of the bread that we're going to use. And again, I'm using the cocktail bread, And this time I'm using the pumpernickel. And then we'll do the same on the slice of bread that we topped, but again, the buttered side will be on the inside. Chelsea, come say hi. Oh, look what she has.
Hello.
She has the champagne for tonight.
Woohoo! Which should be in the fridge.
Which should be in the fridge. And I think what I'm going to call tonight's show, and this just came to me, and this is just perfect because it's so apropos for the gathering. You just never know what's going to happen at the gathering. I'm going to call tonight's tea party a mother and daughter tea party. Woo!
How creative.
I don't know if you heard Chelsea, but she said, how creative. Well, I do try. That didn't take much thought, as you can imagine. But why not, right? Chelsea just took one. Come over here. You're my taster. How is it? You can be honest.
Delicious.
Wonderful.
The goat cheese is very creamy.
As goat cheese should be. I'm gonna go get some more bread and finish this up. Wait till you try the Deluxe chicken salad tea sandwiches.
I'm excited for those too.
Oh my goodness.
Yum.
And here you have it. Goat cheese and watercress tea sandwiches. Now the only thing left is the Simply Strawberries dish. And that's so simple, you're not going to believe it. So I'll be right back with that. So here is the very last item on the menu tonight for the mother-daughter tea party. Simply Strawberries. And that's all it is. One package of strawberries left whole with the tops on because they look really nice for the presentation. So how I'm going to serve this, I'm going to leave them right in this bowl, and off to the side I'm going to have a bunch of brown sugar and creme fraiche. So you can take a strawberry, dip it in the creme fraiche, dip it into the brown sugar, and then pop it in your mouth, or do one of each, whatever, however you like it. So that is it for the menu tonight. Now I did want to talk a little bit about the dishes we'll be using. These dishes were my grandmother's, and they were from England, and they are for high tea service. So, you know, she's just all over presents like my mother. So it really makes me happy to be using those dishes tonight. And then the tea that we're going to be using. We are using some bulk tea tonight. And we'll be using Earl Grey and English breakfast tea. But we're also going to use tea bags, a variety of tea bags. And the bulk tea, we're going to infuse the tea in the teapots once, you know, everybody grabs their own teapot. So right now what I need to do is get the table ready and get myself ready, and the next time you see us, we'll be at the bar here toasting to the gathering. Nani's china from England, and the beautiful bouquet that Chelsea brought. So here we are at the beginning of another gathering, the mother-daughter tea party, and we have Chelsea and Bindi and Patty, and as you all remember, Patty and I took Chelsea and Bindi out for tea at the Taj. I hate to say how long ago, but put it this way, they couldn't drink. Now they can. So we started with a champagne toast.
Cheers to that.
So while Chelsea's pouring, let me refresh everybody what we have. We have the Deluxe chicken salad tea sandwiches. We have goat cheese and watercress tea sandwiches. We have artichoke tea sandwiches. We have caviar and egg tea sandwiches. And we have the original cucumber tea sandwiches. We also have my homemade scones, which we all know I'm not a great baker, so I was very excited about how they came out. And on the table for the scones, we have apricot, blackberry, and strawberry jam. We also have fresh strawberries for the Simply Strawberries. And we're going to have that with creme fraiche and brown sugar. And all we'll do is dip it in each. And then, of course, the star of the show, besides us, tea. And so we have lump tea and tea in the bags. And who knows how it's going to go. But we'll do the lump tea with the infusion. And you'll see us do it when we do it. And we also have the Ferrero Rocher chocolates on the plate. So, as always, thank you for joining us at the gathering, and we hope to see you again.
Yay!
Yay!
Tastes like college.
And Andre.
Woo. Okay, so let's move on
eat.
to the table. Here's to H-Cam. Woo!
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Absolutely. All right.